Cesarewitch. And away they jump. You may just have seen Paradise Navy dwelt slightly. Granby Bell was out fairly well, but a packing field through the first quarter mile, and even the first quarter mile is out of sight from my position here, which is on the Devil's Dyke. They'll eventually come into view. Trainglot's not far from the pace with a big sheepskin noseband, a red jacket. Orchestra Stalls up there. Granby Bell coming across now from that low draw on the right of picture in the black and white jacket. Sea Victor's right up there in the pale colours towards the inside. Canon is also prominent with the well-backed Floating Line as they continue their journey towards the only turn in the race. There's only one right-hander, and that's at roughly halfway. Up front, it's Floating Line, Granby Bell towards the outside. Sea Victor is not too far away either. Just in behind them is Secret Service. En Vacances now poking up between horses. And then follows towards the inside Dan Jing, and Canon is not far off them. Seaplane is amongst the back markers. Good Hand, right of picture, blue and white jacket, sheepskin noseband right out the back at the moment as they head down towards the final mile and a half or so. And up front then, Sea Victor the inside of Granby Bell. A couple of lengths next is Floating Line, En Vacances, followed by Trainglot and Orchestra Stall. Up the inside then is Dan Jing as they race slightly downhill at this point. Canon in the leading bunch. Joyush is lying about 9th or 10th at the moment, and then back in the field to Candle Smile. Thought he might make the runnings. Behind those, Kelly, and then well back is the previous winner, Captain's Guest, on the outside of Claire Swan. Embryonic and Better Offer towards the rear with Seaplane. Also out the back, Whitney de Bergerac, Runaway Pete and Ivor's Flutter. Now they race through the running gap. That's the break in the Devil's Dyke, and now swinging right-handed, and it's Secret on the inside. It's Sea Victor who shows them the way to Floating Line. The wide outside, Paradise Navy, and now they straighten up with the heath in front of them and heading down towards the Rowley Mile. And up front it's Sea Victor and the big sheepskin noseband. Granby Bell is right there as well. In behind them, Floating Line, blue sleeves jacket. Canon Candy inside, En Vacances, green cap. The red is Trainglot. Paradise Navy nearest to us from Danjing and Orchestra Stall, followed by Joyush and Candle Smile, who's improving. Inchcailloch is next from Plays Away. Secret Service is back in the field from Kelly and Embryonic, and then Captain's Guest. Towards the back, Chris's Lad and Better Off from Whitney de Bergerac, and right out the back at this stage, Good Hand off the bit there, the blue jacket, Ivor's Flutter, and finally Runaway Pete. Down towards the final 3/4 of a mile then. Up front is Sea Victor and Floating Line. Canon goes third, and then behind those Granby Bell from following these Dan Jing, Joyush with a bit of work to be done. Over to Graham Good in the grandstand.
So it's Canon, the red jacket, coming the outside of Floating Line and Sea Victor. These are clear of just behind these En Vacances, with coming through next to the rails a French horse, Seaplane, coming with a bit of run. Paradise Navy. Joyush is travelling well. That's a horse with a noseband sitting midfield. Orchestra stalling with chances, and they come down past the 4 furlong marker. Floating Line going for home. Sea Victor the rail. Canon is in 3rd place. En Vacances 4. Then from the back, making ground, Secret Service, the pink sleeve jacket, followed by the grey Seaplane. Orchestra stall, as I say, followed through by Joyush, who's just being pushed along now. Paradise Navy behind these, and they come down past the bushes. And it's Floating Line and Sea Victor who force the pace throughout. Canon's in 3rd place, plugging on Darley. Then En Vacances the outside with Orchestra Stall. Also Inchcailloch, 4th last year, puts in a run now. They race down towards the final furlong, and it's Canon into the lead. Here comes En Vacances and Orchestra Stall out wide. Sea Victor and Floating Line plugging on gamely. They're inside the final furlong now, and it's Canon pressed by a wall of horses with Floating Line, and on the outside En Vacances. It's going to be a blanket finish to the Tote Cesarewitch as they drive up toward the line. And here comes Inchcailloch, nosing to take it. Inchcailloch from in 2nd place, En Vacances. Then Canon, then Floating Line and Sea Victor, followed by Kelly and Orchestra Stall and Harbour Island, Trainglot, Embryonic. Then Secret Service and Joyush, and then Better Offer in the field, trail back to the back markers, Granby Bell, Whitney de Bergerac, and Captain's Guest won the race a couple of years ago, but he was last today. And so the result of this, the Tote Cesarewitch, it's a win for number 22, Inchcailloch, brilliantly ridden by Royston French. There he is, 4th in the race last year, laid out for the race this, in the colours of Mr. F.J. Carter, trained by Jeff King. Well done to him and his team, and particularly well done to the old boy, Inchcailloch. It's a close at 20 to 1. He's won this Tote Cesarewitch. The judge called a photograph for 2nd, but he's called 11 En Vacances as 2nd in the colours of the Lambourne Valley Racing, trained by George Foster and ridden by Tim Sprigg. And the 3rd horse home was number 16, Canon in the colours of Canon Anglia OA Limited, trained by Henry Cecil, ridden by Jimmy Quinn. 4th horse home was number 17, Floating Line. So those people who plunge late today have been rewarded each way. Floating Line in the colours of Mr. G. Lowe, trained at Preston by Eric Olston, ridden by Matthew Henry. Well, he was fourth. It's a very close thing, this. Brilliant race here by Royston French, who sprang to prominence probably in the first race we saw on television today on Inchcailloch. Canon, we close in on Floating Line, the far side. C. Victor has won the heart of his race, but there is a steward's inquiry to the outcome of this Tote Cesarewitch, as Inchcailloch has nosed his way through, and the stewards are inquiring into possible interference at the furlong marker. But look at that, he's pricked his ears, he's done the job. Inchcailloch has won the Tote Cesarewitch, subject to this steward's inquiry.
Well, bringing a lump to your throat watching this old horse, because he's been such a great servant to Jeff King, who's handled him tremendously, given a great ride by Royston French. But will he keep the race? We watched him fairly closely and didn't look to do too much wrong to me, but we can have a look at the head-on now and see what you think. He's just plugging in behind at this stage. He's just coming on the outside of Canon, who's on the outside of Floating Line and C. Victor, and just rolling around his orchestra saw on his outside. There's a gap there at the moment, and as old Inchcailloch puts his head through, then there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the horse who was causing all of the trouble is the horse who just got knocked over onto the side. That was Orchestra Store, and I'm sure that the stewards will say Orchestra Store was rolling around, the gap was there, and I'll be very disappointed if this horse has the race taken off him.